This may come as a surprise for some of you, but I love playing video games. I know, shocking. Well, maybe not that shocking. I've been playing video games ever since I was a toddler, pooping my pants while getting killed by mole men and giant bullet bills in Super Mario World. I specifically remember liking the background in the underwater levels. Being born way on back in the 1900s, I feel like my generation got lucky with being born just in time to grow up side by side with the boom in the modern gaming industry. In my life, I have experienced the transition from 16-bit games on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis all the way up to today, and it has been one heck of a journey. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video, so settle in and get comfy as we delve into a few of my favorite games. Super Mario World is the foundation of my video game addiction. I mean, I'm not addicted. I can stop anytime I want. Hey man, quit making those silly videos and come play with us. Anyway, Super Mario World was the first video game I ever remember playing. Though back then I had no concept of what the game was about. All I knew is that my sister could fly with a cape, but she wouldn't tell me how. But I learned eventually. Most of our enjoyment came from the magical blue Yoshi, which, if you didn't know, can fly if it eats any color of shell.
Normally, only a blue shell will allow Yoshi to fly.
But that's what made Blue Yoshi the best. We would always go up to Star Road and get a Blue Yoshi just to go to another level and lose it right away. And go back for another, and another, and another. Now, I'm not supposed to tell you this, so keep it on the DL, okay? But in Super Mario World, there's one special secret level. It's the top secret area. Oh man, it was game over for those Kooplings. Bowser was an absolute fool for hiding this game-breaking treasure trove of mushrooms and feathers and fire flowers and a Yoshi. Well, I guess looking back on it now, it's not really that game-breaking. But at the time, we felt like gods with access to such power. I just looked it up, and apparently they never used Winged Yoshi in a mainline Mario game again until Super Mario 64 DS, if that counts. Seems like such a waste for a really helpful ability. Oh well. But yeah, Super Mario World is a classic and is fondly remembered. Sticking with the Super Nintendo, next up is The Secret of Mana. Secret of Mana is a 1993 hack-and-slash RPG that, go watch my video I made about it. This is a thread. The next game really fire-started my love for underground hip-hop and graffiti.
Jet Set Radio Future is a fantastic game where you rollerblade around the city of Tokyo.
But in the future. Being a child from Montana that also enjoyed rollerblading, I was instantly captivated by the flashiness of the futuristic city and thoughts of throwing up graffiti and rebelling against authority. I first played it when I was staying at my aunt's house one summer, and my cousin had it. Anyway, after playing JSRF, as us cool cats in the know like to call it, I had a personality shift, which, of course I did. I was 12, and was still trying to figure out who I really was. And I still am. Who am I? Anyway, I would eventually start drawing graffiti in my sketchbooks and started listening to a lot of underground hip-hop. Some of the groups I remember were CYNE, which led me to Nujabes, Blue Scholars, Substantial, Nomac, People Under the Stairs, and Atmosphere, to name a few. If you had seen me walking around wearing my skull candies back in the day, you could be certain that I was jamming out to some underground hip-hop. My music tastes have broadened since then, and I like to listen to a healthy mix of everything these days. I also tried my hand at graffiti and realized quickly that shit's hard, which is what makes me appreciate it even more. I got really into Shepard Fairey and would buy a lot of Obey t-shirts from Zoomies. Do they still give out those stickers? Man, those things were everywhere when I was in school.
I will never stop loving this game, especially since it has sparked my interest in cel-shaded art. If you also enjoy this game, you should try out Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. It's a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio Future and has an amazing storyline.
The first Monster Hunter game I ever played was 3 Try on the Wii. My friend at school would gush about it all the time, and I eventually caved and got it. The thing about Monster Hunter is that it's a lot to take in. The newer games are a lot better about helping you out early on and showing you what's what. If you didn't pay attention during the brief tutorial, you would miss out on some key information, and you would end up playing catch-up. I remember doing just that. After I blew through the tutorial, not reading anything, I would go out to hunt the first monster, with no armor and only a sword and a shield. And I died. A lot. I was so mad that the game didn't give me a set of armor to start out with. But I didn't consider the fact that I could just buy armor from the shop that I'm sure the game told me about. So after the monsters stopped wiping the floor with me, I started having a ton of fun. And since it was on the Wii, I was able to join other hunters via the internet. And these games really reinforce the importance of teamwork. Since in Monster Hunter, if you die 3 times, you die in real life. Nah, but seriously, if any of your teammates cart 3 times during a quest, you all fail. And you do not want to be the reason that the group failed. Especially if you were the one that used all 3 carts. That would definitely get you kicked from a party real fast. I would continue playing Monster Hunter up through World, which is fantastic, and you should go play it. But I did skip Rise because, I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. Plus, I think my Switch is on its last leg. Battery doesn't really last that long anymore. But I am excited for Wilds, which will be coming out in February. I hope that you had fun listening to me ramble on about some of my favorite games. Each of these games has a special place in my heart, and I hope that those watching have had the opportunity to play them as well. What are your favorite games? Leave me a comment and let me know. And if you played any of the ones that I mentioned, tell me what you love about them. As always, please consider subscribing and sharing the video with your friends if you enjoyed it. It would really help me out a lot. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.